Welcome to the class of 2023 Senior Athlete College Recognition. We're using this time to celebrate the athletes of the class of 2023, but also to acknowledge those who earned an opportunity to participate in college athletics. Many of you have already been recognized with your high school teams, outside athletic programs, or privately with your family and friends with a national letter of intent signing or commitment celebration. As a former high school coach, I can honestly share with all of you that all of your coaches at all levels that you've competed at have great pride that one of their own athletes have reached a dream. It does not matter if you're going to compete at the Division I level or junior college. There are very few that get this opportunity. First, I want to share some stats about the athletes for the class of 2023. We end up with a total of 317 senior athletes this year, 155 male and 162 female. They earned 12 DVC championships this year, 7 on the male side and 5 on the female side. And we also have a DVC tournament championship with softball last week. We have 6 regional and sectional championships so far. We have 1 second place trophy with badminton, state trophy. And this past weekend, our girls track team earned a 4th place finish. We have over 25 all-conference athletes that are just seniors from this class. We have 31 NLI signees who signed with us with 10 different sports. We had 16 male athletes that signed with us and 15 female. Of the 31 signees, 20 of them are going to be competing at the Division I level. 5 of those are male and 7 of those are female. Or female are kicking it. We have athletes that are playing across the country from George Washington University, Northern Michigan, Arizona, Rochester, New York, Milwaukee School of Engineering, and many other local schools. Now, what's next for all of you? I'm confident that all of you have asked this question many times as you're on your way of starting your new journey. To assist you with you understanding some of these unknowns, I've invited some alumni that had the same question before they took their first steps. All of these athletes had great success on and off the field at both the high school and collegiate level. They will share with their experiences that we hope will help you in the transition from a high school kid to a college young adult. After the alumni are finished, you'll hear a final message from Dr. Fuhr. Dr. Fuhr, when Dr. Fuhr is finished, we would like to take a picture of everybody together up on the stage. And when that occurs, parents, you can also take pictures as you wish. After we're finished with the pictures, we do have a banner set up outside if you'd like to take any additional pictures with your family and so forth. Now, without further ado, let's hear from the alumni and their experiences as a college athlete. Representing the class of 2022 and now Western Michigan is its football program is Palmer Domschke. Representing the class of 2021 and now Lewis University and their girls basketball program is Claudia Gallegos. And representing the class of 2022 and now Northwestern University and their girls soccer program is Brooke Miller. So we're just really going to do a panel discussion format. So I'm going to ask them some questions, and they're just going to pass the microphone down the line, again, just to talk about some of their experiences. So for each of you, share some of your high school experiences and your accolades, and then also talk about your current situation, any honors or accolades that you would have achieved so far.
All right. Hey, everyone. I was on the women's soccer team last year. Ended pretty good year with, I don't know, we won a regional championship against Naperville Central, so that was great because, woo, yeah, Kanika. We ended up doing really well. I ended up getting All-American at the end of the year, so that was probably one of my best accomplishments. In college, I was happy to play a little bit, and so that was probably like one of my best moments. I think you got to give yourself a little bit of, well, this will go later with the advice. I'm just introducing, but this will go later. You got to give yourself a little bit of room with how it goes, especially when you step into your first college experience. So I was just happy to get some playing time, have my first start in college, and yeah, I think that's a great accolade to have. So.
Hi. So in high school, luckily I was able to play football and baseball. For football, made all the way to quarterfinals for the first time since 2012. Fortunately, we lost that game. But baseball was the same way. Went all the way to sectionals. Fortunately, the same result. But taking like all my experiences throughout high school, and for football, was able to start all 12 games at the collegiate level as a true freshman. Didn't have a great, or like personally had a decent year, but for the team didn't really have a successful season. So being able to learn from that and coming forward. So.
Hello, my name is Claudia Gallegos. My first year I redshirted, but for my team, we won the GLVC tournament, or we won the regular season tournament. And then this year, this was our first year in the OVC, so we transferred from Division II to Division I, so that was like a big jump for our team, and we learned a lot this past season.
What was the biggest question you had when you got on campus and you became a member of your college team?
Maybe just like how to manage everything, and like throughout the first year, it definitely was like a struggle. And you get to learn a lot about like yourself, and then also like just like how to manage your time.
Do we answer the question? What's that? Do we answer the question too? Okay, cool. So mine was probably how interactive is our team with the rest of the students? Like how interactive are you as a student athlete with the athletes? Or with the regular students who don't play a college sport? I would say, honestly, not very much. I would say you're very interactive with your athletic community. Like, you know a lot of the other sports, you hang out with a lot of them. Personally, for us, we didn't have a lot of time to hang out with the regular students who had different schedules or who could maybe go out past 10 or 9 because you have to go to bed because you have early practice the next day. So I think, I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't get to talk to a bunch of the students, and we didn't that much, but with how much you get to be with your team and make friends with other people playing sports there, I think I would say that it's pretty much worth it. You obviously have time to make friends in your classes and everything like that and other activities, but we didn't have a lot of interactive time with people who didn't play sports. So that was one of my questions.
One of my bigger questions was more of like, did I make the right decision? The recruiting process is a super hard process. You all went through it. Being able to see how coaches interact with you before you commit and versus after you commit. So getting onto campus and having to really start your life basically all over again was a big question for myself. Was more of being able to find like my way around campus, things like that, and being able to find friends on the team. Because as a true freshman, and like they went through the same process, a lot of the older people are going to look down on you. So it's just being able to find your way through and find your friends. So.
What is one of the biggest differences between your high school, like practices, the contest, the season, and now what you're experiencing with your college teams?
I feel like overall for basketball, like you're always training year round because it's an indoor sport. You can train at any time you want, and I feel like that from high school to college, it was just more like the intensity level, because like you might be practicing for like 2 hours too, but the level and intensity and like the challenging like part of it, I think that's like the biggest difference.
Yeah, I would say for practice, at least our biggest difference would probably be like every practice is kind of cutthroat. So it's like you are friends with your teammates, obviously, and you guys love each other and want each other to succeed. But every practice, you're trying to get in front of the coach so that he's going to play you more and more the next game, or maybe keep you at the spot that you're at. So your friend that you were just joking around with 5 minutes ago is competing for the same spot as you. You guys are like going against each other in practice. So I would say, yeah, the intensity in games. I was really tired in my first game, and I was like, this is not what it was like last year. So I think just kind of be ready for that jump. And then the season, I would say that the season's like long, especially if you make it far. Our team went to, the Sweet 16, and other teams went beyond that. And it's just like you think it's going to be over halfway through, and it's like you got the whole rest of the season to go. So it's really rewarding, but it's also very long. So I'd say pace yourself, pace your energy, pace your mental energy throughout the whole thing so that you're at your 100% the whole time through.
Yeah, just going along with what Brooke said, practices are definitely a lot more cutthroat. Every day is more of a job. Being able to perform to allow the coaches to see like what you're capable of, so that way you can put that towards your game. For seasons, same thing. High school, you only play 9 normal games, at least for football. College, you play 12, and that's without a bowl game or the college playoffs. So, yeah.
Talk about the extra training that you guys do, either preseason, during the season, the intensity of that as well. Go ahead, Claudia.
Yeah, like for us, we can like schedule individual coaches workouts and stuff like that. So it's really like where you want to go in your sport is really up to you at that point. Because it's like, how much do I want to put in? Like other people, you might look at your teammates and maybe they're not putting in as much. But it's really up to you, like how much you want to grow your game and develop when you get to college.
Yeah, I would like directly agree with that. I think the amount of free time that you have is completely dependent on what you want to do or how far you want to go. So you could say that you have practice done at this time and your homework's done at this time, but if you want to work harder to get to play in the next game, then you might have to practice after that. So I think like preseason, pretty early and pretty intense workouts. I think a lot of people come ready to play because I'm sure so many of you guys have fitness tests and everything like that. I would come prepared for that. Make sure probably that you could pass because your coach is looking and, is looking for the season. He already know who he wants to play based off of last year. So you're coming in as freshmen. The least you can do is make a good impression. And then, yeah, I think it is what you put into it.
Yeah, I also have to agree with that. The workouts in general, you're required to do that. You're not asked to. But like she said, like your classwork and your workouts, but then also adding in more, because in order to be successful, you have to do more than what is asked of you. So being able to find the time and strength to be able to say, should I be sitting around or can I go do something else to better my game? So.
Share something that was either very eye-opening as being a college athlete or something that you did not expect when you became a college athlete.
Yeah. I would say eye-opening. I would think I didn't expect it to be so much of like a lifestyle. And I think that goes with like basically everyone goes to bed at like 8 because we have practice early in the morning, or people are going to like make sure they're scheduling their meals appropriately, or like your whole class schedule is usually scheduled around what you're doing in sports. So I didn't think it would be like so centered. Like here, obviously you have 2 separate lives kind of, it's your sport and then it's your school and your friends, blah, blah. Well, here they kind of like combine and you're just living that life and like staying with the lifestyles that you can keep up every day. And then I think what I didn't expect, honestly, is the winter and spring season to be so, or like whatever your sports season is, your off season, to be so kind of laid back a little bit. Like that part is really more up to you. So in the season, they're going to like tell you what to do, tell you be here, here's your meetings, here are your meetings. And then in the off season, it's like, okay, we have less hours, here's our scheduled practice times, but the rest is up to you to kind of keep up yourself. So that kind of surprised me a little bit, but it was good to have kind of more off time.
Yeah, going along with that, football especially, like during the season or fall camp, you're there from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like it's a full day. It's super eye opening because in high school you go to class all day, and then you have 2 to 2.5 hour practice or 2 to 2.5 game. So that's definitely super eye opening for myself. And just like Brooke said, being able to realize that it is such a lifestyle. You're not just a student anymore; it's your job. So.
I'll probably just say like to like the amount of training that you have to do extra, and just like even to like more of like the mental part of the game. Like you have to know the plays. You got to know. You have to watch film and really like detailing each thing in your film or in your meetings and stuff like that. I think that was like more of the mental like part of it was really eye opening.
You guys were all very successful in high school, but share about now becoming the little fish in the big pond again as a freshman on a college campus. And Claudia, you had made mention about you redshirted your freshman year. So I don't know if you can talk about that experience as well.
Yeah, it was really like a step back in a way because I dislocated my foot like 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for like our summer workouts and stuff like that. So it was really like, and I came back in December, but at that point we were like, with basketball, you're already like, you're throw the wheel, like we're already about to go start the season, stuff like that. So it was definitely different for me to like take a step back and just like watch practices, but it was good in a way to like just see everyone like how they're working out, different things like the plays, learn like that kind of part of the game than so much of like the physical aspect. But it definitely was hard like coming back with all my recovery and stuff like that. But just having that support system of like not only my coaches but like also my teammates. Like my teammates were so great and they were so supportive to always be there if I had questions.
I would say that, well, two things. First, you do kind of have nothing to lose because you are a little fish in a big pond. Like, people have their team beforehand, and now, honestly, realizing, like, as a sophomore, waiting for, well, about to be a sophomore, waiting for the new freshmen to come in, like, we have our starting lineup. Like, the freshmen are probably just going to have to maybe get their way into it, maybe not. So you really have nothing to lose. I think if you get in there and kind of show them what you can do, that's great, and maybe you're going to get an opportunity to be a part of that. And then two is that it's okay to be a little fish in a big pond and kind of work your way and feel your way around things and learn the ropes of how to be a college athlete. Like I said, you got to give yourself a little bit of leeway. We were all really successful in high school, and sometimes you can't expect to come in there and start playing 90 minutes every game. So it really is a work in progress, and you can't beat yourself up over the fact that you're not going to be, MVP of every game anymore. And that's totally okay to happen, especially at a high level.
Like for me, going into college, I just like for summer camp, I had to sit behind a 6-year senior. So being able to realize and figure out things on how I was going to pursue, like getting past him, pushing through that type of stuff. And also like walking into your locker room the first day and looking around and not seeing any face that you really know besides maybe your roommate. So that's pretty nerve-wracking, and being able to find those friendships as the year goes on, that'll help like boost your self-esteem and stuff like that. So, yeah.
2 more questions. Talk about the resources that are available for you as a college athlete, whether it's academics or athletics, and then also just how do you balance that? How do you balance your academics with your athletics, then also just enjoying your college experience?
But at my school, we have like 8 skills hours, so we go like to our little tutoring room for like 2 hours each week. But it's really up to you. Like the resources are gonna be there, no matter what division or college or university you're at. But like it's up to you to go find it. That's a really big thing about like advocating for yourself. If you're struggling, even before you're struggling, like go to the tutors. You might be doing good and you might have a B in the class. Like, just go to the tutors, make an effort to really advocate for yourself when you're struggling. That's, like, another big difference is, too. Like, no one's really going to hold your hand, but in that way, you still get to grow as a person and as a student. So it's a really great way to learn how to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, I really agree with Claudia. Like, the resources are totally there. And honestly, during season, we had to get 6 hours a week, and we had to swipe in, and so it's really not that hard to try and get your homework done because 6 hours is a lot of time to be somewhere. I would say you have academic advisors that keep you on your homework and make sure that your grades are good. I meet with mine every week. He checks in with how the grades are doing. There's a ton of resources athletically. I don't think that'll even be a problem for anybody to really find. College experience-wise, I would say when you're in your season, there's not that much of a normal college experience. But your in-season college experience is super, super rewarding. You're going to be with your team. You're going to be with your best friends. You're going to be doing a lot of fun activities with everybody, and that's really fun in itself. Off season, you're having time to experience whatever your friends are experiencing. But I think during your season, you have a different type of college experience, and it's equally as good. And not a lot of people get to experience that, so I'd say you're lucky.
Taking it to more like the training side of things, like your athletic rooms are going to be open all the time. Listen to your body. Definitely take recovery seriously. It can kick you in the butt if you don't. So definitely take that very seriously. And then athletics, just like Brooke said, your academic advisors are going to be on you. Your coaching will be on you. One thing you don't realize is, say this semester, all 3 of us didn't do well, you're ineligible for your next season, which then loses your year eligibility. It's not like, oh, you just don't get to play. So definitely stay on top of your grades. Those are huge impact. So,
If you haven't said it already, what's one piece of advice that you would want to give to the incoming freshmen or senior class here?
I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's gonna be a lot of growing and just finding who you are as a person, and just give yourself grace really, because it's gonna be challenging. And you're gonna walk in not knowing anybody. Maybe you know a couple people, but it's really gonna be a challenge. But just give yourself grace throughout the struggle, and you really got this.
I would say 2 things. 1, don't tire yourself out too much. Sorry. Overworking is a thing. And 2, just have fun. That's kind of what this is all about. A lot of people sometimes forget that. So.
Realize it's okay to make mistakes. Like Brooke said earlier, you are the little fish in the pond, so you don't really have any expectations, but just to go out and give your all every day, and just enjoy it. It's an experience that most people don't get to experience, so definitely take that to heart. So
Let's give them one big round of applause. I hope some of the advice that they have given you will lead you guys into a great freshman year as you venture into your new athletic careers. Before I bring up our Dr. Fuhr, just remember we'll be taking a group picture. So as soon as he's finished, we'll have the athletes come up on stage, and then parents, you can position yourself to be able to take a picture. We'll bring everybody together. So to close out our presentation this morning, we got Dr. Fuhr.
First of all, thank you to our alumni for coming back. We really appreciate your insights and are just proud to still call you Wildcats, at least for a little bit of it. I hope one of the themes that you heard this morning was that competing at college is tough. It's hard. It's going to be harder than you can imagine, and it's going to be different, and it's going to be things that you're going to be uncertain about, and you're going to be challenged. I hope that you welcome that. There's a lot of uncertainty with walking into a locker room or being around people you don't know. Am I going to make friends? Am I just going to like these people? What if I don't like these people and I'm competing for their job and I really want to support them, but I'd love to take their spot? So there's just a ton of things that you're going to have to navigate. But I hope you embrace all of those uncertainties. You wouldn't be making the choice to compete if you didn't feel like there's something left in you that you haven't yet discovered. That you did all you could when you were here, and some of you in the spring still have jobs to finish. But there are things about yourself you want to learn as a human being, as an athlete, and you've made the choice to do that. And it's a wonderful opportunity. When we first opened as a school, we had way too many students who said, well, if I'm not going to a huge university, Division I, Big Ten, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. A lot of them felt like if the stage was too small, that's not for me. But when you guys walked in this morning, and I think really our past 5 or 6 or 7 years, so many of you are thinking, you know what? I have more to learn about myself. I want to find the right place for me, and I want to make a difference for me. That's a very empowering decision, that you're going to compete wherever that is the best fit for you. So we're proud of you. We're looking forward to our spring athletes finishing strong if you've still got games left. And let's bring everyone forward, get a great picture. Congratulations.